Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, this video is being published a little later than normal for a couple of reasons. Number one, I decided to go to a brewery with Mrs. Sujano and, well, enjoy my Sunday. And number two here, I was trying to wrap my head around what the heck is going on with Citron. So we're talking about Nintendo Switch emulation here, and this one's a weird one. So for those who may not be aware, Citron is a fork of Yuzu, and they say it's designed to play homebrew Switch games on your PC. And now there's a whole lot of controversy surrounding this one, and I would say it's almost self-imploding. Now, I could be wrong here, but I think there are two main people behind Citron, Camille and Zephyron. And it seems that Camille and Zephyron have gone at it just a little bit here, and well, there's some legal threats and even more stuff. This is a lot to read. If you wanted to pause it and go through it, feel free to. I'm not going through this in detail. For full transparency, I don't know enough about the issue to take sides and to figure out what's going on, and I don't really care too much for the drama behind it. It's just, the whole thing is interesting to me, considering there were some apparent legal threats. And that's kind of crazy given the fact that Citron is, well, it's in very gray area anyway, considering it's a fork of Yuzu. This is just all wild to me. Anyways, there's obviously been a whole lot of back and forth on this one. Some people are accusing Citron of being Uzui rebranded. If you remember, Uzui was a fork of Yuzu. It was literally just Yuzu backwards. I've got no idea what's going to happen with the future of Citron here, but it does appear there's a brand new Switch emulator being spun up, which is going to be yet another fork of Yuzu. And I believe it's going to be called Eden. And on top of all of that, it seems that Citron has purged a large part of its Discord. This person over on Reddit Emulation on Android says, anyone else notice the Citron Discord has now kicked every single person, besides like 150, and all links to rejoin have been shut down. And a previous post says, to gain access to Citron's main chat and support, you need to verify you own a modded Switch. Now, if I head to the Citron website and click on join our community here, it does bring up a Discord invite, and the Discord invite does seem to work. It's Zep's Zen Zone. And there are 340 members here, which seems a lot less than there were before. But either way, the Discord invite, I think, works. So at the end of the day here, it seems that after all of this, there's going to be a brand new Switch emulator out there. It's going to be another fork of Yuzu, and it's going to be called Eden. I think Citron is probably going to continue at what speed, though, I've got no idea. And about the drama between the developers of this one, I don't really care. It's just a very weird situation. I am curious to hear your thoughts on the matter. It just seems that Nintendo has been extra vigilant to take down Switch emulation, but in situations like this, it seems that Nintendo may not need to do anything at all. If these things are self-imploding, Nintendo is probably just sitting back and watching it all happen. And speaking about stuff self-imploding, next up we're talking about the exact opposite of it. We're talking about Nintendo 3DS emulation with Azathar, and yes, it's pronounced Azathar. For those who may not be aware, this emulator is a merging of Pablo MK7's fork of Citra and Lime 3DS. And Azathar just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, Azathar version 2120.2 is the latest update. And this one contains some minor fixes and improvements. It's not necessarily a huge release overall. The big one was version 2120. But at the same time here, the developers seem to be very active in improving and fixing things in this. Next up, we're talking about a mobile game, and you may not have heard about this one before, and if you haven't, I don't blame you. Mega Man Legends 5 Islands is now playable in English. This game has been translated from Japanese to English and has been preserved. If you are curious about this one and wanted to learn more about it, I recommend checking out ShadowRockZX's YouTube video here because it showcases the game in detail. And the description of that video has some very interesting links you may find, well, useful. And speaking about game preservation, next up we're talking about BSF0, where BS stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano. Anyways, here some tracks have been preserved after a whole bunch of years, like 28 years. If you are curious about BSF0 as well as the preservation efforts behind it, I do recommend checking out this article, and like everything we talk about, links are in the description below right at the bottom. I don't hide my sources. Anyways, here it seems the person who found the week 1 stuff was awarded $2,500. And it seems the week 2 stuff is still up for grabs here, and the award for it is $2,500. Next up, we're talking about some Linux stuff. An Ubuntu 25.04 beta has just dropped. This one is called Plucky Puffin. It's supported until January 2026, so only for 9 months here. If you are looking for an LTS solution, you may want to stay on 24.04. Anyways, here, this one features Linux kernel 6.14 and some serious upgrades with Wayland. So Phoronix has done some testing, and again, like everything we talk about, links are in the description below. And they say here that GNOME 48 and KDE Plasma 6.3 delivering great Wayland desktop experience on Ubuntu 25.04 for Linux gaming. It seems that throughout their testing, Wayland is outperforming X11, which I would say is a very huge thing for Wayland in general. It does seem that Wayland is the future on Linux, and X11 is kind of going the way of the dodo. And continuing to talk about Linux stuff, next up we're talking about CachyOS, which is a Linux distribution based on Arch. And they say here it's a blazingly fast and customizable Linux distribution, and it just got a brand new update. The brand new update here is using Linux kernel 6.14. On top of that, they've got a brand new bootloader here, and they've added in support, or better support, for the Asus ROG Ally. The March 2025 release is the latest update here, and like mostly all Linux stuff, CachyOS is 100% free and open source. One of the things I like about CachyOS has nothing to do with the OS, it's how they've got their download page split up. I like how they differentiate the desktop edition from the handheld edition. And the handheld edition supports stuff like the Steam Deck, both the LED and the OLED version, the Asus ROG Ally, and the Legion Go. Next up, we're talking about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, and it seems that there's a bit of controversy, more controversy surrounding this game. So the initial controversy was surrounding Bam Margera, and I think that has got resolved now. Anyways, there seems to be another one regarding the soundtrack. Some people were upset that the soundtrack was not the exact same as the original one, and Tony Hawk has responded. So here's what Tony Hawk says. It was my choice to pick some different songs by the same artists featured in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 OST. I'm hoping that discovery is half the fun, and a big reason that these soundtracks resonated in the first place. So listen and enjoy the ride. More to come, both old and new. So it seems there will be some older songs returning to the soundtrack, and also some more new ones. I don't know about you, but I really don't see this to be so much of a controversy. I think Tony Hawk is heavily involved in the game. And yeah, I think changing up the music might be a good thing. I mean, if you've played the heck out of Tony Hawk's 3 and 4 before, playing it again with the exact same tracks and nothing new might be a little bit annoying. Maybe not, I don't know, maybe that's a hot take. But I would say here this is probably a good thing. Worst case scenario, you can just play your own music and listen to that while you're playing the game. Next up, we're talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 and the lack of release date for Grand Theft Auto 6. At this point in time, we still do not have a firm release date for the game. Some people seem to be a little bit impatient about that. Some people seem to be upset about that. And this whole thing has turned into a giant meme that just continues on and on and on. And it seems that all of this was by design. They say the game is still on track to release this fall, but the lack of specific date is just due to excitement and engagement and having people continually talk about it. It's all marketing. If you wanted to learn more about their approach and even more information, I do recommend checking out Bloomberg Television's YouTube video here with the interview. I would say here, while this is frustrating, it also seems to be incredibly effective. I mean, a lot of people are excited about GTA 6 in general. It's probably going to be a very big game. But at the same time, the lack of specific release date continues to have a whole lot of people talking about it, even right now. Next up, we're talking about Tomodachi Life on the Nintendo Switch. Now, this game was unveiled on the Switch Direct just a few days ago, and it seems in Japan, this may have been one of the biggest and most exciting parts of the Direct by a very wide margin. If we take a look on Twitter here, we can see that there's over 400,000 likes on this tweet. I mean, to give you an idea of how popular this is, if we take a look at Nintendo's Twitter account and this tweet, it's got 403,000 likes. And if we take a look at Nintendo's Twitter account and the announcement for the Nintendo Switch 2, it has 385,000 likes. Less likes than Tomodachi Life. Furthermore, if we go to YouTube here and check out Nintendo Japan's YouTube page as well as the Tomodachi Life announcement, this video has 1.4 million views. So I think it's going to be pretty successful in Japan. Let me know your thoughts about this one. I mean, taking a look at Nintendo Japan's YouTube page, and the Tomodachi Life announcement crushed every single other announcement during that Nintendo Direct. And on a side note, for Nintendo of America's YouTube account, the Tomodachi Life video has done very well. It hasn't cracked 1 million views though, just over 900,000. And Pokemon has beat this, as well as Metroid. So I'm very curious to see what happens moving forward with Tomodachi Life, but overall I would say worldwide this game is going to be a pretty big hit. And last up here, we're talking about PlayStation 4 emulation with ShadPS4. And it seems as if someone has first-person mode up and running very smoothly using ShadPS4 here. I don't know if I'd want to play this game using first-person mode, but at the same time, the overall execution of it seems okay. Let me know your thoughts about this if you'd want to play in first-person mode. I'll drop a link to this video in the description below. Additionally, here for the ShadPS4 emulator in general, it seems that for future versions of ShadPS4, the developers are removing the package installer. And this seems to have generated a little bit of controversy and some confusion. So this was taken from their Discord, and I think it's the rationale behind it. They say PKG extraction was removed due to game dumping not requiring repackaging games into FPKGS and can be dumped directly. It only existed for installing Homebrew originally. The existence of it also made some users believe dumping to FPKG was the better way to dump games, when better options exist and some repackaging tools even modify the games, which is not something we want. It enabled pirates to use ShadPS4 much more easily. Overall, I'd say this will be a big change to some people using ShadPS4. It may be a big change to some tutorial videos out there for ShadPS4, and for others, there's probably going to be no change at all. Either way here, it does seem to be a change in ShadPS4 moving forward. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. And if you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state. And I'll see you tomorrow.